And we are live. Hello, hello, everybody. Everybody, help me welcome Steve back.
Hey guys,
Hello, Steve.
how's it going?
Just gonna see what's going on here. I'm gonna put it on my phone here, just because the computer never seems to pick up comments and whatnot as
Right.
fast as the phone. As long as the phone doesn't cause me feedback here. But hello, Dragon Lair. Thanks for coming. Hello, Redfish, Bluefish, Jason, Mullow Fish Hunter. Hello, everybody. We are Yeah, it's been a long time. I think it's
Yeah.
been I think it's been 3 weeks since I've live streamed,
Right.
let alone since I've had you on. So yeah, it's been
Yeah,
a
I
while.
guess been a while. I guess before all our malware stuff going on, and probably a year, I guess, or maybe more.
Yeah, it's been close. It's been close anyways. It's been over a year since we did
Yeah,
your
lots of
fish room
changes going
tour.
on.
Yeah, you gotta tell us about your changes. You jumping straight into her.
Oh, I don't know. I actually I watched a video with Jason there from Redfish Bluefish about his new fish room coming.
Yeah, I think Jason's in here.
His store. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I actually, Jason and I are pretty close. I actually phoned him
Yeah.
when I said, I'm like, what the hell? You didn't say this to me, what you were doing. But yeah, he's doing it. I'll let him talk about it on his stream. But it seems like a pretty cool little gig he's
Yeah.
got going on. He's for anybody who doesn't know, Jason from Redfish Bluefish, and Jason, I believe you're a moderator. You can put your own link up there if you like. Um, he's like the plant mad scientist. He's like he does shit with plants, Steve, that you and I don't even think of
Yeah.
trying. All that.
He might he might like this one then. So
Oh yeah. I
my
don't know if he's on back on here or not yet, but you're bloomer.
yeah, I don't know if you can see it, but got
And you
the
were
got a second bulb coming up on it there.
and what kind of plant is that again, Steve?
The red lotus.
Red lotus.
Yeah.
And what time it only you were saying that it only blooms like a certain time of day.
Yeah, it's kind of weird because the flower during the daylight hours when all the tank lights and everything were on, it would close up. But when I
Hmm.
would come down in the morning before the lights were on, it would be fully open.
Oh wow.
So
So it flowers in the
almost like
dark.
almost like it opens up at night and then closes up during the day.
Huh.
So
Yeah,
I'll
that's
see if
weird.
the second one does that. Like I've got another flower coming up, so we'll see what happens with that one.
Yeah. Yeah, that's really weird. So you almost have to glue them with. Now, if you turn the lights on, how quick before it closes back up?
It takes almost the whole day before the whole flower is closed up, but you can see it starting to form like a almost like a starburst kind of shape
Okay.
within an hour or two, and then the rest of the day it just closes completely right up.
Ah. Ah. Yeah, I hear Jason's back. I don't know if he caught it or not about your flower, but yeah, he can watch the replay. It's pretty cool though. I seen pitch. You guys haven't, but so we're I guess we've probably never even said where we've met or anything before, but we're both members of the BRAS, the Barrie Regional Aquarium Society of Simcoe, and that's where we met. And we just became friends because we're very like-minded with our fish keeping and whatnot. But
Yep.
yeah, it's I guess what I'm trying to say is, I got my train of thought back. I seen it on our website. I was the Facebook site. So Steve posted a picture of this beautiful flower on our brass Facebook site, and yeah, that picture was amazing.
Yeah. So let me. I gotta turn my camera around because It's more
Yeah.
interesting to look at the fish room than it is to look at my face. So that's the remnant of the first flower, and apparently I can get fruit out of it and the fruit will turn into seeds. So I'm just leaving it there to see what happens. And then I got a second one in there, just started popping up the other day.
Oh, very cool.
They go crazy. That it was almost 6 inches lower than that yesterday.
Now that's a dirted tank that you have that in, right?
It is. Yeah. This is the dirted tank. It's been running for 2 years now.
Now, do you have CO2 or anything?
I had a little bit of a die off because my CO2 ran out during COVID lockdown, so I wasn't able to get a replacement for it, and I just haven't gotten back around to it. And plants don't seem to be any worse for wear. Like they're
you're blooming
quite nice. The sword plant actually got I pulled 3 baby plants off the side of it. The rhizome started growing plants.
Oh, okay. Very good.
This is one of the babies. The original one is over here with angel eggs on it.
Oh, look at that. They're not using the slate, eh?
No. Sometimes if you give them a big plant, they'll lay them on the plant. They prefer that.
So are you gonna cut that leaf off?
I would, but I don't have room because I got all these.
Man, it's good to see you back into the Angels. You're like the Angel King up here. Yeah. And I was actually a bit disappointed when you were like, you're kind of, I don't know. We all get there at times. You were kind of in a slump, we'll say, a hobby slump. And
mostly just because of COVID, and I wasn't sure what I was going to do with all the babies to get rid of them. But these guys are now, I want to say, 2 months old.
Oh wow, they grow quick.
Yeah, they grow pretty quick. They're about, I don't know, ½ inch.
Yeah. Yeah, they grow pretty quick.
Yeah, so I got those, and then over here, I've got some little tiny ones in a 2-gallon tank. And then over here, I got another bunch in my hatchery tank, which is turned into a rearing tank. And
oh wow, the tannins from that wood, eh?
Yeah, the driftwood has really turned it a nice dark color.
Yeah, that looks great. I love the look of, like, don't get me wrong, I love the look of a crystal clear tank, like your other Angel tank over there, like perfectly crystal clear, that one.
Right, this guy here.
Nice clean look, perfectly clear, but there's something to be said for a tank with tannins in it. It just looks more natural to me.
This one is actually going to turn into more of a river stream kind of setup. Because I haven't even shown you yet, but I picked these guys up the other day.
Yeah. They're not bad size. Where'd you get them?
They're almost 7 inches long.
Oh wow.
How
many did you get?
I got a trio, male and 2 females. So those are blue phantom plecos.
Yeah, all 128s.
Yeah. So, and apparently it's not very common to have them breeding in captivity. Most of them are wild caught.
It's hard, man. It's a hard go.
So this is going to turn into more of a river type setup so that I can try to breed those guys.
Are you basically trying to do what I'm doing with my 72 gallon down here that I have mine in?
I'm not sure.
I don't know if you remember my bow front tank, but that's what I have. I have 3 L128s as well.
Oh, do you?
And yeah.
I didn't know that.
But you didn't even know I had them?
No.
Well, you're not a very good subscriber. But yeah, I have 3 of them. I've raised them up from about 2 inches, and they're between 5 and 6 inches now.
Okay, that's cool.
But they're Yeah, they're hard to breed. You got to get your water down to like, you might as well
Yeah,
pour coffee in your tank.
right. So
Like,
that's kind of my plan with this tank is so I got this power head here blowing across the bottom to sort of simulate a river stream flow, and then I'm
huh.
gonna put these caves are not big enough for them, obviously. So these I'm gonna
No,
move
the
those.
spikes would be a bit small.
Yeah, so I'm gonna get some more slate from you probably, and make some
What
bigger
size
caves.
cave do you
So they're
think they should
they're
have?
they're talking like 3 inches square by about 8 inches long.
Are you serious? That's
Yeah,
huge.
yeah,
I wonder how the like I assume it works the same as most plecos
yeah.
in the fact that they have to trap the female in there, right? It's really not a nice affair how they do it.
That's what I
Um,
read. Yeah.
so I wonder how they do that with having such a big hole opening.
Well,
Because really, they're
they're
not.
pretty big. So like if you these ones are full size, right? And these are the slates that you cut for me for my angels,
Yeah,
and they're 3 inches across, and they when their fins are out, they stretch from side to side.
I can see the 8 inches, but I would think the whole diameter size. We'll play with some
Maybe,
sizes, all right?
yeah, I mean like 2 3/4 or something like that, maybe.
I was gonna say even two, like a 2 inch square hole. I have some here. A 2 inch square hole is big. Like I have some in with them, and they fit in them way easier than you think.
Right.
It's kind of like incestuous, right? Like the uh, the
Yeah.
best size cave I find, unless it's a gigantic male, like over 6 inches and a long fin, is like an inch, 1.25 inches square.
Right.
So even if you doubled that for these guys, which are not double the size of a full size ancestress,
Right. I think
you
they're a
know,
bit wider. I think they're wider though.
yeah, they are. But I think I'm gonna start with between 2 and 2.5 inch caves for mine.
Right.
Anyways, there is a question for you, Steve, and I believe I know the answer. Petsaholic asked, does Steve have a YouTube channel?
I do not.
No, I didn't think you did.
No. Jesse's the one that provides me with the YouTube channel.
On the platform.
Yeah.
Oh, YT Reefer Man, hello, how are you? Welcome. Aquaballs, hello, good evening to you too. So that's what you're gonna do. So where are those angels gonna move to?
These guys here, I got an empty 20 gallon up here that I'm gonna put them in.
Ah,
So
okay.
that's just above where they are now. And
Something
then
I want to.
they'll be set up like these guys, so they'll just be by themselves to breed.
And if those guys have been breeding for you, those are your calicos, eh?
These are they're marbles, just regular
Marbles.
black marbles. That's where all these crazy babies came from.
Now, did you ever do anything with your kois, or did you move them along?
I I moved them along. I was really not happy with the quality of their fins and stuff.
Okay.
So I'm kind of waiting to see if I can find a better strain lineup or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, just genetically better fish to
Yeah,
start with, and
yeah,
that's listen up, people. That's the sign of a good breeder right there. If you're not happy with your fish, don't think that the offspring are going to be any better. They're
yeah,
probably going to be worse.
yeah, most likely.
So if you're not happy, move them to somebody that will be happy with them. Someone who just wants a pet or whatever to put in their tank, and move on to something with better genetics. That's
Yeah,
probably, if there was any best advice given tonight, that would probably be it. Start with the best genetics you possibly can.
yeah. That's kind of where like once they got the adult size, their fins were still short and kind of straggly, and I was like, no, uh, that's enough time with these guys. Let's see what we can find to replace them.
Now, at how old with angelfish would that be, Steve? Like, how long does it take to really get a good idea of what you're going to get as an adult?
Usually, you can tell fairly early, like if they're 1.5 inches, 2 inches. I had them for about a year, just from
Okay.
from quarter size, raised them up. And at one point, I was just like, oh, maybe they'll improve, but they didn't. So we moved them along.
Yeah, it's sometimes sometimes the best way, and just restart. I do the. Oh, my dog's barking upstairs. He's loud. I do it with the long fin plecos as well. If I don't like the fins, or if there's too many kinks or turns in the fins or whatever, you can tell pretty early, and they generally go to a pet store for sale. They usually go wholesale. Now, I'm not saying they're horrible fish. They look they look.
Yeah, by no means they were horrible looking fish. They were just not. I for an angelfish, personally, I like a little bit longer fin. Like I don't like the short fin varieties. I like the more natural, long, flowy fins.
Well, and too, like, I guess anybody who's had any success at breeding fish knows how much time it takes and how much energy it takes, and sometimes how much money it takes. Do you want to do that for mediocre stuff, or stuff you're not going to be happy with?
Exactly.
Right. So, oh, we got Father Fish showing up here tonight. How are you? Good to see you, sir. So yeah, that's the way I look at it too. If they're not good enough for me, why would I put that energy into keeping them going?
Exactly.
Yeah. So what do you got going here, Steve?
These guys. These are my. It's my little experiment. So I started with 2 red dumbleweir guppies, and I had a bunch of Endler females that were not impregnated yet. So I threw them together, and this is generation 1 that I got. I keep pulling out anything that doesn't look similar to these ones.
Okay.
So it's still kind of a work in progress, but I only have the 3 females left, and I've got 1 baby male that is actually got the same characteristics that I was looking for. So,
how long do you think it would take to get them to breed true?
I don't know. I've never actually tried this before, so.
I think it requires about 6 tanks, and you're probably about 10 generations.
Yeah, it sounds about right. I've never actually tried it with endlers or guppies or anything like that before, so it's kind of an experiment, ongoing experiment. I got this black one here. This is kind of interesting. None of the other parents were black, so I don't know where the black is coming from.
And then if you keep that black one, then you'll never breed true.
Yeah. So, well, that one's a female, so I'm not worried about it yet.
Yeah.
All the males that have developed that have not been the one I want, I've thrown in this tank over here.
Okay.
So.
Hey, whatever.
Even these ones have got some interesting patterns to them.
Yeah, they do. They got a little turquoise going on with a half black turquoise thing going.
Yeah.
Whatever happened with those black metallics I sent your way?
These guys down here.
Because so everybody. Oh wow! Look at the babies.
Yeah.
So
this is not all of them either.
These fish I kept here, I got from Trevor, actually, when Trevor vacated the hobby again. So I got these guys from Trevor, and then I kept them separate. I kept the males and the females separate. Females were not impregnated whatsoever, because I wanted to see, I wanted the females to get a little bigger before they started popping out babies. And the proof is in the pudding right there. When you do that, you have bigger spawns.
Yeah.
Not only that, I wanted to see the quality. So this is awesome to see
There
that.
haven't they haven't the males really haven't started developing much color yet, but you can definitely see the females with the black fins coming along. But the males are just starting to develop some body color.
Okay. Is there some? Are they uniform? Like, are they breeding true?
They all seem to have the same pattern, so far so good.
Oh, very good. That's cool. Cool to see that
Yeah.
they did spawn for you, because like I sent them your way for essentially they weren't proven, right? Like I had never bred them, so I
Right.
wasn't sure. Wow, he really developed a lot more metallic
Yeah.
than black.
Yeah. So he's the only one in there with them now.
Okay.
I took the blacker ones and I've actually started another experiment with them.
That fish has a fantastic dorsal fin, Steve.
Yeah, he's.
Now, do you see when he swims a certain way there, it almost reaches the tip of his tail at the top
Yep.
end.
Yep.
That's what you're going for. That's what you want.
Yeah, and the metallic is, if you catch it in the right angle, it's got multiple colors to it.
Yeah, no, it's a pretty fish. Pretty fish.
Hopefully, I'll get some more like that, and I'll keep pulling those out and just breed those along with the females.
Yeah.
But I took
I'd like
to. So this is like the overall room. There's one of your tanks that I'm working on.
Oh, beautiful. Beautiful.
It's actually looking pretty good. It's almost.
I'd say.
Almost
Almost
like
looks brand new.
Yeah.
So Steve's resealing, well, giving me and resealing some drilled tanks for me because I'm just too busy to do anything lately. And we traded some baby clownfish for it and whatnot.
Yeah.
But this tank here, I have 8 of them. They're all 18 gallons and they're all drilled and they're going on a rack. I'm doing a rack solely dedicated to breeding clownfish. So it's going to have 8 18-gallon tanks and a 55-gallon sump underneath it. So that's my future plans that Steve's helping me out with there. Okay.
So there's I put the other black ones up here in with 4 blue females that I had that were also not impregnated. And
oh wow, you might come up with something wild there. I love the tails on those females. They're that's exceptional. Yeah, no, that's a really nice fantail on those females.
You can see all the babies that are in here.
Wow, tons.
So I just moved them into this tank, and there was just the adults. And 3 days later, this is what showed up. And
there's 100 babies in there.
They came out of this tank. I left all the babies in there. So
oh wow.
There's a whole pile of them. So you can see a couple of them. The males are just starting to get patterns, and there's even with the cross, they still kind of look like they're going to be metallic.
Those are nice. Those are nice. You watching this, Jason? You need some of these in your new store. We got to figure out how to get them over the border for you.
Yeah.
Haha. By the way, Steve, Father Fish says you have a great fish room, Steve.
Oh, thank you.
And Father Fish, he owns Father Fish Aquarium shop in Florida.
Okay.
Mhm.
That's my marble convicts.
Yeah, they're turning out all right.
Yeah, they're quite interesting. Their parents are up here, but they're guarding eggs at the moment, so she's kind of in there.
Yeah, I see her eye. You could see her just pretty much see her eyeball.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah, tell people about these. People hear convicts and they probably just think, meh, it's just convict.
Yeah, they're not. I have to apologize for this tank. I had some algae issues in this one, so it's not as nice as the other ones.
No apologies. Algae's good for a tank.
I don't know. Let's see in there. That's the male.
Okay, it's almost like an OB, like with African cichlids. It's almost like the OB coloration.
Yeah, the female, I wish she'd come out because she's practically orange.
Okay. Well, you don't have to bug her.
Yeah. She's really, really orange. Like creamsicle orange.
Huh. Well, it'd be interesting to see how the babies turn out. See if, oh, did we lose you, Steve?
I think I lost you there.
We
for a
got
minute.
you back. Yeah, you're back. Yeah, it'd be interesting if they come out like with.
Are we back?
What I always like. Sorry, go ahead.
No,
yeah, you're back.
I thought I lost you there for a minute. I found some more pleco eggs in the middle of my tank yesterday.
I see that. Some more of my grandbabies. Well,
Yep.
great grandbabies.
They're everywhere. I can't keep them. I can't keep them from spawning now. They're everywhere.
Yeah, it's once they start going, Steve, they're like clockwork. Especially someone like you that keeps nice tanks, keeps good water. They'll just go like clockwork. And honestly, if you ever want them to breed, just do a water change a few degrees cold, and they'll go. Yeah.
So there's the whole room.
Yeah, very good. It's changed a lot.
Yeah, a little bit.
Do you realize that your fish room, like you remember when I did the video of your fish room tour? It's actually one of my most watched videos. There's I think it's got about 8,000 views.
And then I got this final one out here. Has got all the baby plecos in it.
Oh, they're growing good.
Yeah, they're not bad.
So soon you're just gonna be straight up plecos. Oh, you watch, man. You got a lot of babies coming. You're gonna need more tanks.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm having. That's my problem right now with the angels, because there's probably close to 300 of them in here.
Oh wow.
And then,
can you zoom in on that a little bit? I know you can't zoom there, but it's as close as you can get to it.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
Maybe if I go this way.
Yeah. Oh wow. Look at them all. That's a lot.
They're only 3 days swimming, so there's still a couple dying off here and there, but that's normal.
Okay. And what are they eating?
Oh, baby brine shrimp. I
right from day one?
Yep. Yeah, angel babies are big enough to do that.
Okay.
I got my little hatchery thing down there.
Yeah, that's working.
Yeah.
You want to know what I tried? I actually put it right in like the bottom of a half a pop bottle. I did it in my saltwater tank, the clownfish grow tank.
Yep.
And with the top of the tank, it would come up and hit the top of the tank. I just dropped an air bubbler in, and the eggs and salt water right from the tank. Right. Put it in, stirred it up, and I had baby brine shrimp the next day. It keeps it at 80 degrees. Yeah. Everything, and it doesn't move from that spot.
Right.
I was a little worried about it getting dumped or spilling, but it worked out pretty good. They hatch a lot faster.
Yeah,
under 80 degrees.
It's warmer, right? 80 degrees.
Yeah. Yeah, they hatch a lot faster. So for a while there, I was doing 2-3 batches at a time just to try and keep up with everybody.
Right.
How are your baby clowns doing?
They're doing well, actually.
Are they? They're upstairs though, aren't they?
Yeah, they are.
Yeah. So
I can make my way up there and show you.
Oh, eventually, keep your tour going here. I just thought about that. Wondering how they're doing. Mine are doing pretty good. Mine are, yeah. I got,
They're growing pretty fast right now.
yeah. Have you noticed like the last 2 weeks,
Yeah,
yours like really, uh, like I got a lot now that are actually saleable size.
yeah,
They're getting quite big.
yeah.
They're all well over half inch.
They seem to have come into a growth spurt or something because they probably over an inch and a half now.
Inch and a half?
Yeah, they're getting huge.
Inch and a half.
Yeah,
That's adult size.
almost.
Oh wow. Wow, mine aren't that big, Steve. You'll have to show me. You're
So
doing,
I'm feeding them baby brine shrimp every day, and I'm
yeah,
feeding them marine pellets twice a day.
yeah. Mine get fed like 4 times a day. Yeah,
Maybe just the number, because I find with even with angels and stuff, if you take 5 or 6 babies and throw them in a 30-gallon tank, they'll grow at twice the rate as the rest of them.
yeah. True enough. If they're if they're uh if they're that big, I can't. You're gonna have to show me. Cause like mine, I call them half inch. Maybe they're bigger. I don't know, but they're not over 3/4 of an inch.
Right.
That's for sure. So
Well, maybe I'm thrown off too, but we can test this theory.
yeah, you getting a ruler?
Since I have a tape measure right here, my messy table because I have no more space.
Yeah, that's crazy if they're that big. How many do you have? You got like 8 of them, don't you?
Yeah,
6 or
yeah.
yeah. So my last batch all died, which sucked. They never made it past day 3.
Right.
And the batch before that, I actually had 3 survivors. I found one more. I actually just moved them to the grow tank today. And yeah, and then I have 4 from the batch before that. Oh, they're not an inch and a half.
Yeah, it's gonna be hard to tell.
Yeah, they're the same size as mine.
Kind of hard to tell because they're gonna go to the back as soon as I get the ruler up here. Yeah, maybe not an inch and a half. Maybe
Yeah,
3/4.
yeah, they're about the same size as mine. They look good. It looks very
Yeah,
healthy.
yeah, they look happy. The tank's not exactly the happiest at the moment, but it's new, right? So still got some
Yeah,
algae.
it's gonna take a bit. It's
Still
gonna
got
take
some
a bit.
algae. Still got some algae growing and stuff, but I don't mind the algae because that'll just make the rotifers and copepods and stuff grow more.
Oh, exactly. Yeah, they look really good.
They
You
look
got some
happy.
interest. There's a couple there of some interesting misfires, eh?
Yeah, definitely. This one is spot.
Yeah. And then the other guy's got a misbar at the top near the
Yeah,
back. He's got like, oh, 2 of them do actually, like a Y, at
the
least
the
on one
black
side.
the black parts have really started to fill in more.
Yeah.
And there was one when I picked them up from you. There was one that was a lighter orange, but he's now blended in with the rest of them.
Oh, has he? Well, here, give me 1 sec, Steve. I'm just gonna move my camera over to mine, and you can look, see if they look the same size.
We'll go back downstairs.
Oh. All right. Give me 1 sec here. Let's see how we're looking there.
All right.
That's not bad. Yeah, I'd say they're about the same size, eh?
Yeah, probably. But they've definitely grown a lot since I picked them up.
Yeah. Like I said, the last 2 weeks, it seems like they just went absolutely nuts.
Right.
Like they grew a lot in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, they're good.
Yeah, they're not bad. They're not bad. They like you were saying, the blacks are really coming out on them a lot. These
Yeah.
guys, what are they now? They're either 13 or 14 weeks old now. And yeah, the blacks are really starting to jet on them.
Right.
And the whites, I should say. There's actually quite a few Wyoming whites in that group.
Yeah, it's such a broad mixture, eh?
Yeah, very weird pairing. Everybody tells me it's a very weird pairing that I did. And then I tell them I didn't do it on purpose. It just happened. I
Right.
just bought some clownfish for a saltwater tank, and next thing I know, I'm breeding clownfish. But it's been extremely challenging lately, to be honest with you.
That's how it goes, I guess, right?
Yeah, I think I figured out what's wrong, why I've been failing lately at it, and I think it's RG complete. I ran out of RG complete, and
Okay.
it's got an ammonia blocker in it. It's
Ah,
Chloram X for ammonia control and pH buffer.
okay.
So it's super concentrated marine microalgal feed and enrichment with Chloram X.
Right.
And I think that's been my problem. I ran out of that stuff and I was just using the Grow Plus.
Right.
And I know I was getting ammonia spikes, and I think that's why. So we're gonna do another order to Reed Mariculture, and I think I'm gonna order like 6 bottles RG Complete, some more rotifers, and try again.
Right.
See what else we come up with.
Yeah, I guess if that's the big challenge, right? Is keeping that water clean.
Yeah, that's the biggest challenge with them. You have to do it in a small tank with no filter, just an air stone, and you have to somehow keep that ammonia from going through the roof.
Yeah. See, and I had similar problems the last little while with the angels because we can't get things like methylene blue and stuff around here anymore, right? Because
What? You
it's all
can't?
no,
You
it's
can't
all
get methyl blue?
no. They've taken it all off the shelves.
We can get methyl blue. Talk to me. Talk to me later.
So I've been experimenting with other alternatives to keep fungus off of the eggs.
Right, right.
And so the last few spawns, I get like 10
Right.
because
That's
of the fungus. But I think I finally figured it out. I'm using hydrogen peroxide in this one here. I used 10 drops of hydrogen peroxide and I got 0 fungus.
and no ill effects to them. Obviously, there's tons of them.
Yeah, there doesn't seem to have been any problems. So I'm gonna do it again when I got more space, and we'll see how it goes.
And where did you see that little trick?
Oh, that was online somewhere. I
Was
don't
it?
remember. Yeah, I don't remember where it was because I was looking for alternatives because I wasn't able to find stuff like ICX and you know, things like that at the pet store anymore. So,
Huh. So
but
hydrogen
I
peroxide.
but I do know because I ordered this one off of Aquarium Direct before they ran out. This one,
Yes. Yeah.
that does not work. It just kills everything.
Okay.
I don't know what else is in it, but it's not good for keeping fungus off eggs because it kills the eggs.
Now, does hydrogen peroxide not just turn into water after it hits water?
So it turns into water after it oxidizes something.
Okay.
So when you put it into water, into a fish tank, there's lots of organic material in there that it just instantly oxidizes, right? So,
Ah, okay.
so what I did was I started with a clean breeder box, and then I filled it up with fresh tap water, dechlorinated it, dropped the eggs in on the slate, and then dropped all the hydrogen peroxide in there. So if there was any fungal spores or anything like that on the slate that I dropped in, it would kill it.
So yeah, you just sanitized the breeder box, and
Yeah.
it's got like I use that same breeder box. It's got good flow, water going
Yeah. So
through it. So
the first 2 days I didn't even have the flow turned on. It was just an airline tube in the box,
okay,
just hanging on the side of the tank. And
okay.
then after they started swimming, I turned on the bubble flow,
Ah, very
and
good.
it seems to have done the trick. So
Yeah, it seems healthy. So that's a good one to keep
yeah,
keep
so
to
okay,
remember.
I'll try it again and see what happens the next time.
And like a comment just came up from Aquaballs. He says he doesn't use anything in his breeding tank, and the eggs are hatching fine. So I guess it maybe depends on your water. There you
Yeah,
go. His that it just I have soft water and I add leaves every water change.
yeah. See, the leaves that's an antibacterial, antifungal, right? So that'll help kill off anything that's in the water.
Throw a few of those alder cones in there. Do you have alder cones from me, eh?
Yep, yep, I do.
Yeah, maybe throw a few alder cones in there.
Bear with me for a few minutes. I'm just gonna set this up so that I can feed these little babies. I just set it in there to settle. Just like that.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, so I just came down to feed my fish, and you wanted to have a chat, so you'll have to
Drake.
watch me. You'll have to watch me feed the fish.
Oh, that's okay. Um, Dragon Lair says Angelfish Breeders Facebook page noted that a while back. The H2O2.
Right.
Oh, there's Brittany. Hello, Brittany.
The thing I like about it is hydrogen peroxide is super cheap.
Yeah, true enough.
Like you can get enough to breed several thousand fish. You know.
Yeah, yeah, most definitely. Now, some
That
people
cost
are
that cost me $2 instead of $6 for a small bottle of Vic-X. So
talking RO water on here and whatnot. Now you do RO water, right? You do like a
I
50-50 with your water?
yeah. So I have the RO unit here on the wall, and I basically have a float in 2 buckets. So this one is just regular filtered tap water, and then I have a second one which is RO water.
Okay.
And then if I need to, if I'm doing something special that needs softer water, I will mix them before I put it in the tank.
So what do you do with your angels? Are your angels straight tap water or are they mixed?
Yeah, currently everything is straight tap water in this room. I was using a mix of RO and tap water for the rams when I had the rams.
Right?
Because I found the babies did much better in the softer water.
Yeah. I need a better RO unit. Is what I need. I do.
So I got
Way
this
too
one off.
much.
I got this one off of eBay. It was 200 Canadian. Got it from the US. And then I just picked up a second RO unit or an RO membrane. So I have 2 RO membranes and I feed one into the other.
Oh,
So
doubling up.
yeah. So I get 100 gallons instead of 50 gallons a day. And
Also,
less wastewater because the wastewater goes into the second RO membrane.
so What's your TDS come out at with your RO with that unit? Does it come out 0?
No, it comes out at 12.
12. That's not bad.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
Yeah, and that's after it's gone through both membranes. So I'm
See,
okay with that.
my current unit sucks. It's coming out at like 40 now.
It sounds like it needs to be replaced, eh?
Yeah, but it always did. Like
Oh.
it never came out great. So that's
so when I was feeding it through just a single membrane, it was coming out at 0.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then so the problem is the wastewater it goes from 300 to 500. So the second RO membrane has to deal with 500 instead of the 300.
And so see, my water starts at 400.
Yeah, ours is about 340 ish.
Yeah, same difference, really. So yeah, I'm looking for a new brand that will pump out more. I think I gotta get a pump with it too.
You said Brittany was on the call?
Yeah, Brittany's on here.
There you go, Brittany.
Maybe we'll get her on here one day. She can give us a tour of her little fish store.
I was actually over there just a little while ago. I picked up these flagfish from her.
Ah.
Where'd they go?
There they are. I see them. Someone says they're not sure, but they've been told that dechlorinator hurts the fish eggs. But I don't know if you put dechlorinator in that breeder box with all those.
No, I don't. I actually don't even own a bottle of dechlorinator right now.
Oh, okay. You just mean dechlorinated water.
Yeah, it comes out of this bucket, which has already been passed through sediment and carbon filters.
Hello, Vinny. Welcome. We're just checking out Steve's setup here.
Feeding my fish while I'm talking.
Yeah, we're just gabbing away. That's why I put this live stream as just talking, because that's all we're doing, because I haven't had time to do this in a long time. Been working like 7 days a week lately, so it's YouTube's had to take a bit of a back seat. So are you just running that through a reusable coffee filter?
Yeah. Yeah. I haven't had time to drill holes in my pop bottles to put in a drain tube on it, so I just do my turkey baster.
I do have very similar. I just use a really big syringe with a piece of rigid airline tubing on it.
Yeah,
that's how I suck them in.
That's what I have. That's what I have to put the air bubbles into it. But I just set them in there, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what I find is they get clogged with salt quite often. So
yeah,
this I think is probably easier long term because I don't have to worry about unclogging it all the time. So I'll just do that, and then I pour some fresh water through it.
That's a lot of brine shrimp.
Now I'm ready to go.
Well, there you go. Let's see some feeding.
So this will be interesting. See how this is going.
Yeah, it's hard. Maybe you guys can get a little more appreciation for when I'm going around feeding and whatnot, and
a little harness.
trying to do a video at the same time.
Yeah. I need a little harness for my phone.
You need a selfie stick. Looks like Los Angeles has 350 ppm water as well.
That's fun.
Yeah. Oh, this ought to be a frenzy.
Oh yeah, they love it.
Well, I'm glad you got the brine shrimp working again. Remember you were saying you were having difficulties, but you just had bad eggs.
Yeah, I had bad eggs. It was the first time I ran into that problem. Never ordered eggs that went bad on me before.
So you and Brittany must be on different wells in the city, or different water. She says she's about 300.
Yeah, maybe she's south of the highway, so it might be a little bit different.
Yeah,
There's
it seems like
there's
most
five or
people have
six.
hard water.
There's 5 or 6 different ones in the city, so it's quite possible. They love them.
Yeah, they go nuts for them. I've been. I usually give. I have some Paracet nigrinus in my 180 gallon tank now, and I've been feeding them brine shrimp just because they're right beside the grow out tank.
Right.
For the clownfish, so I give them a shot. Well, they're breeding like crazy now. I got a huge mouthful in there. Someone asked what kind of salt to hatch brine shrimp. I do it most of the time just with your regular old aquarium salt. But honestly, most of the time now, I just take a scoop of water out of one of my saltwater tanks and mix the eggs in, and it works out just fine.
Water change water is good for that, for if you have a saltwater tank. But I just use I don't buy the aquarium salt from a pet store because it's way too expensive.
They just use kosher salt.
I just use kosher salt with it's just pure salt. There's no iodine or anything like that in it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like $2 and it lasts me for 3 months. So I like that deal.
I like like I said, I just take a scoop out of your clownfish tank, Steve. It works awesome because it's already heated up and everything too, right? So
definitely.
They hatch a little faster.
I just use there's always lots of wastewater for that, but I don't always have it on hand. So
no. What types of clowns? Are you asking what types of clowns does Steve have, or do I have? Steve has baby clowns for me, and they're just ocelotus. Actually, I have my clowns. I don't know. You must have just came back in. I think I got the camera on them still. These are my baby clowns here. And my clowns upstairs, my breeders, one is black onyx and one is a snowflake. The male is the snowflake and the female is the black onyx. But yeah, I got quite an array. Oh, she came out.
Yeah. There's a couple of babies left in there. I haven't gotten them out, so she's a little annoyed with them.
Yeah, she's got a new batch.
Yeah. But I like the orange and the blues and the fins. They're fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah, no, she looks different for a convict. Yeah, most definitely.
I wasn't really a convict person, and then I seen these ones, and I thought, you know what, those look pretty cool. And I'd never had convicts before, so I thought, well, why not? Let's give it a shot.
Mm-hmm.
They seem pretty happy in there. They've completely reorganized the whole tank, so it's a bloody mess, but they're happy.
Oh, there he is. That looks just like its mom, eh?
Yeah. It's interesting because most of the babies show a lot of orange coloration.
Yeah.
There's very little black in them so far.
YT Reefer, man. Yeah, give me a private message on Facebook or something. I'm there as JN Aquarium Supply, and I'm there as Jesse Store as well. If you want to talk about trading clownfish and whatnot, I'm always up for different stuff depending on the deal. Oh, they're just pigging out. Bellies are full.
Yeah.
Bellies are full. I love seeing that. The bright orange bellies. You know they're doing good.
Yeah, they seem to be chowing down. These guys get a These guys get a little treat. They get the odd brine shrimp that falls through the.
Actually, quite a bit's come through, eh?
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I threw so much in there, is because half of it gets filtered out through the main tank.
Yeah, they're loving it though.
Yeah, they get enough, that's for sure.
Dragon Lair asked, have you seen the gold convicts? I don't know how to say that name. Guamomel has with white with gold bars.
White with gold bars. Interesting.
Mm-hmm. What do you think of those polar blue convicts? They look like they're mixed with a parrotfish or something.
I think they are. They're a short body, right?
Yeah, kind of balloon body.
Yeah, I don't care for the short body fish. I don't know why.
Yeah, they look. I like their colors, but they look a little funny. You know, Trevor was breeding them, and then he got out of it. Who else? Oh, my friend Mike. He got some. I believe he got them from Trevor, and he was breeding them as well. But I haven't heard much from them. Yeah, I don't know, all those the balloons. I don't like the balloon fish. I think that's what Brittany's talking about here. Either like the balloon mollies and all that. Parrotfish. They just don't look proper. They look unhealthy. They have so many internal problems. It's not funny. Yeah, it's kind of a black eye in the hobby, in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't. The overall shape I don't care for.
Mm-hmm.
They just look weird. I got this funny little angel here. He swims on his side all the time.
Is that like a swim bladder issue?
Yeah, I think so. He'll stay here. He'll live out his life here. I don't like to kill them if they're deformed or anything. I just let them live their life the way they were supposed to.
I don't know if anybody's seen on my screen there, but I have one deformed clownfish baby in there, like massively deformed, like his head, where his head connects to his body. It's all, yeah, it's really, really, really noticeable. But he does just fine in there. He has no problems. He has no problems at all.
I just keep these guys in the tank of their own, and they live out their life.
Yeah.
I find most of the time they don't live much more than 6 months or so.
Yeah, I'm surprised this guy made it through metamorphosis and all that stuff. He's obviously strong, so I guess unless someone may just want him. If I may just give him away to somebody who would want one, or I'll just keep him, whatever.
Right.
He doesn't look any worse for the wear, that's for sure.
No, he eats just fine, and he's growing. He's not growing quite as fast as the other ones, but
I'm surprised with the clownfish deformity I have that they haven't kicked him out of the harem. I would assume they would have picked on him and like he's got 90 brothers to pick on him in there, right? Like I figured, but not at all. Does just fine.
Huh.
Does just fine.
And I also had one with bottom fins that were all curly, which is a first. I've not had any like that before. They all usually come out with straight, long feelers.
Yeah.
Oh, you get the odd one. I wonder sometimes if it was like damage from fungus and stuff like that.
Who knows? I think when they're really young, if they get banged around a bit or nipped by one of their siblings or something, I think that's where most deformities probably come from.
That's possible.
Yeah. What do you think is... I've been hearing some bad advice lately. And From good people. From
Oh,
good people. People I
oh,
respect.
I hope
People
I wasn't one of them.
Well, we'll see, because I'm going to ask. You weren't. But
All right.
from good people that I respect in the fish industry and business.
Yeah.
Do you want to take a guess at what the bad advice was?
So many topics, it's hard to say.
Water. We're going to talk about water.
Oh, we're
And
gonna talk about
cycling.
water.
Tank cycling. There. Two huge.
Let me guess. Fill a tank with water and let it sit for 2 days, and you're good to go.
No, that's just absolutely horrible advice. This was just bad advice. This was giving people hope advice with no chance for success. So what it is, and it's like I said, I'm not going to name them because they should feel ashamed already. But taking a bag of cycled water from one tank and adding it to your new tank to instantly cycle your tank.
That will never work.
No, it won't. It won't. And I wish these people would stop giving that shit advice, because all it's doing, sure, maybe it's not going to hurt as long as you don't have any parasites or anything in your water that you're going to ship off to somebody else. But it's that the bacteria in the water column is minimal.
Yeah.
Minimal. Like almost non-existent. I've had a veterinarian on this show.
You'd be better off to give them a rock or a scoop of the substrate than you would just give them a bucket of water.
Or a cycled sponge filter.
Oh yeah, that would be even better if you have them.
Right? Yeah. Or even a cycled sponge out of a hang-on back tank. That's gonna help.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's gonna help. But
it's not perfect, but it's definitely gonna help.
The cycled sponge filter will work. It will work, and it'll cycle that tank. But the bacteria does not grow that fast. So I forget the exact numbers Paul shot off when he was on here. But essentially, we know how E. coli travels and whatnot. Apparently, E. coli grows 15,000 times faster than, I think that's the number it gave me. It's a big number, whatever it is. If it's 1,500 or 15,000, I don't remember. But that much faster than beneficial bacteria in your aquarium. Does not grow fast. It takes 4 to 8 weeks to cycle a tank.
And it's actually even worse than that, because what people don't realize is there's only enough bacteria in the tank to sustain the fish and the load that's already in the tank. If you add more to the tank, you have to wait for that bacterial colony to get bigger to handle it.
Most definitely.
So you can't just drop 100 fish in a cycle tank and expect it to work. It's gonna still have an ammonia spike and have problems for a while until that bacteria catches up.
Have a good night, Brittany. Thanks for showing up.
Bye, Brittany.
So yeah, that's tonight. I heard it like a couple of times this week, and I was like, I wish you people would stop giving shit advice, because that's exactly what it is. And you're just when you do that, when somebody does that, you're actually pushing people away from the hobby, because they're gonna have failure. They're going to have failure. They're going to get upset that they've killed a living creature, possibly, or they've spent that much money and it's gone. Whatever pisses them off about it, something's going to. So why not offer good advice? And I like the idea of an aquarium shop offering seasoned sponge filters, cycled sponge filters, as long as they're coming from, like, other than, like, nothing's ever in that tank except sponge filters, so they can't shipping parasites off.
Right, that's the risk for pet stores, though, is because a lot of times they they have central systems, right, and all their tanks are plumbed together, and they're constantly getting fish in and out of the store, so they're constantly exposed to those pathogens.
I just know if I didn't have a tank set up, or if I needed one set up quick, and an aquarium shop actually offered, from like I said, a tank that's cut off
Probably
from
the
the rest of
best
the system,
Probably the
I would
best
pay
thing
the
they could
same.
do is fill their plant tanks with sponge filters, because
Mm,
you're still gonna have the bile load from the dying plant leaves and things, but you don't have fish.
no, but you're gonna have snails. You're gonna have this. You're gonna have that.
Oh, sure,
Plants
but
are plants
it's,
are one of the biggest carriers of parasites.
yeah, I suppose.
That's how I've always gotten mine in my fish room. Usually come in on plants. Um,
Yeah, parasites I can see.
like snails and stuff
Right.
like that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think once, yeah, I don't know. I don't know how you do it. If you drop one fish in that,
If,
I don't know. But still,
if
the bio load won't be real big, right?
right.
So,
If they could somehow get a bile load to handle it without putting fish into the system, then that would be ideal. But not sure how
yeah,
you not sure how you would do that.
just add straight ammonia to the water, maybe.
Yeah, I suppose that would definitely work.
Hello, Chewy. Thanks for showing up. Long time no see. Aquarium Treasure says, I put a 1 pound bag of lava rock sitting in my sump for 6 months before I set up a new tank. Good idea.
Yeah,
Lava rock works well.
yeah. Lava rock's got lots of surface area.
Take care, YT Reefer Man. And hello, Fish Whisperer Miles. Good to see you. So yeah,
Lava,
sorry, go ahead.
no, I was just gonna say lava rock's cheap too.
Yeah, yeah, it is. And it's got so much surface area. So much surface area. Uh, yeah, it holds a lot of bacteria. I still say sponges are the best. They have more surface area
Yeah.
than
Well,
anything.
I have nothing but sponge filters in my fish room, so they do great.
I have some bigger filters on bigger tanks, but generally, yeah, I run mostly
Even
sponge.
my 75, I just have two sponge filters, one in each corner.
I think I have 12 sponge filters in my 90-gallon grow
Nice.
tank for my plecos. I sent you that picture, didn't I?
Yeah, you sent me that. That was pretty funny.
Yeah, I got them all. I got them all hopping too. Some were a little plugged up and stuff. They're really seasoned, but I got them all running all power, and it was like boiling the tank. But I guarantee there's no ammonia in that tank.
Yeah, I would hope not.
But that's it. If you have more fish, more bio load, add more filters. I put them all in there just because I shut tanks down. So I wanted to just
Right.
keep them seasoned, and why not just put them in there and help that tank out? There's sometimes
Yep.
between 300 and 500 baby plecos, baby ancestress in that tank.
That's what I have my hatchery over there. I had probably 6 sponge filters in there, just bubbling away a little bit.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt anything.
Until I needed them again.
Yeah. So I want to ask you something else while I have you on here. What do you think? So first off, with this platform I'm using here, StreamYard, I'm on the free one right now. I gave up my subscription for it just because I wasn't using it enough. It's like $25 a month US. Yeah. But anyways, on the one I'm on right now, the free one, I can have up to 6 guests, maybe myself plus 5, I believe.
Yeah.
Plus we have the chat. We had a lot of people not wanting to do our brass thing because it was on Zoom, and some people didn't trust Zoom with going on that on their computer, and I think some people just couldn't figure out how to do it. Period.
Okay. Yeah.
Right. What would you think about, and we can use my channel, or I've even made a brass channel already. I just don't have it activated to the public. if we did something like this, but we could get, you know, four to six people on, or even two people and everybody else in the chat. I don't care how it would go, but this might be an easier way to do a monthly. We're not going to call it a meeting, because if it's on my channel, it's obviously not brass authorized, but it doesn't mean I can't invite brass members to come in and partake, and anybody else for that matter. But we could have different points of views, and we could have a few people on. With the one you pay for, I think you can have 10, up to 10 people on.
Okay.
So, like, shit, we don't usually get 10 people to a meeting, so I don't think that's a problem. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know, just something I think for us to think about, because I think a lot of our members, if they can figure out how to make a YouTube account, would have a real easy time just going on, clicking, and you're in the show. You're in the chat at least, and it can still be interactive.
Right. Yeah, it might be worth trying. I mean, obviously the Zoom thing is not working out, so.
Right. Yeah, it was pretty. Yeah, a lot of people I don't think like it. I don't know. I didn't mind it personally. I found it pretty easy.
Well, I think they got a bit of a bad rap at the beginning because they had some security issues.
Okay.
But that they fixed all those things, right? So it's not a problem anymore, but it's still got that reputation.
Okay. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll throw the idea around to people, and I don't care if other people come in on it too. But it would be neat to get more than just my opinion on here, because you guys have heard my opinion for long enough.
No, I think any kind of platform like this, and sharing the hobby with people and just having ideas floating around, that's what makes the hobby, right? So whatever we can do to make it better is better than doing nothing.
Yeah, and everybody's got their own ways of doing things, right? Like, I've honestly never seen somebody else how they make salt water for their salt tank. I just kind of figured out how to do it and do it myself. And hell, I don't know if I even do it right or wrong. So you know what I mean? Like anything, there's so many things that you can see. Possibly somebody else has a better way of doing it. So that's why I do this. Actually, I like to interact with different people in the hobby. I've made friendships all over the world,
right,
on this. Hell, I don't even have. I'm such a small channel compared to so many people, and I still met friends all over the world, and I can call some true friends. Like I have their phone numbers. We talk. So it's kind of neat to see how people do it in different parts of the world. It's neat to see how people, even just in a different country in the States, the different products the States have compared to ours. Right. Everything. And it's amazing that over so much area, so many people do things the exact same way. And those are successful people generally.
Yep, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. I did have a question for you, Steve, something I was thinking about, because I've noticed with breeding the clownfish and whatnot, the more I put into it, the more I get out of it. Bottom line, if I'm working like crazy, like I have been, and I'm not home enough to give them the care they need, I'm unsuccessful.
Right.
Since you've kind of moved into working from home most of the time, has that improved your hobby, or actually taken away from it, since you are looking at them all day long in your office and whatnot, right? Does it give you more time working from home to be a better fish breeder, take care of the babies better, everything else, just because you may have that flexibility?
Yeah, absolutely. Because having all these babies, you know, if you want them to grow, you got to feed them, right? So the more you feed them, the faster they grow. And you know, I'll come down during my lunch hour and just grab a pipette full of brine shrimp and throw it in the tanks, right? And so they're getting that one extra feeding a day. You know,
Yeah.
most of my activity is after 3 p.m. because that's I've set up my fish rooms so that the lights are 3 p.m. to 11 because that's normally when I have time available to do water changes and feed and you know check things out, make sure everything's running properly and all that kind of stuff, right? So you know, I come down in the morning, I'll just turn the light on in the room, throw some baby brine shrimp in with all the baby fish, and that's, you know, now there's one extra feeding a day.
Right, and it's an extra couple of times you get your eyes on them in a day too to see if there is any potential problems
Yeah,
coming
definitely.
up or anything, right?
I definitely, you know, if I'm up for a break during the afternoon and the lights are on, I'll come down and check them out. And, you know, I found that one gold pleco I sent you a picture of. You know, I would have probably missed that completely if I wasn't spending time looking in the tank with 100 plecos.
Yeah.
Right? Like there's only the one gold one, and and the gravel is kind of a gold color, right? So you well, and luckily there he is on the glass. Like I don't know if you can
Okay.
see.
Is that him there? Doesn't look very gold.
He's well, he's near the bottom.
Oh, okay, maybe I can't see him. Oh, there he is.
He blends in with the gravel very well because he's almost a gold color. You know, I
You've
would have
seen that
never.
picture of the one I sent you, eh?
Yeah, it's very much the same.
And that's
Very
funny
much the
because
same.
that's the only one I've seen.
Here he is from the belly.
Just looks like an albino from the belly.
Yeah, but you see his tail is black.
Yeah, he's got specks. He's got speckles.
It's just kind of strange. But you know, I would have never seen that if I hadn't had the time to be looking in the tank and checking the fish out. And you know, a lot of times when you get into these large number of tanks and fish rooms, you get into a habit of, oh, I just don't want to deal with it anymore. I'm just going to feed them today, and I'm not going to worry about it, right?
It
And
happens. Happened a couple
yeah,
times this week. Yeah,
yeah.
it did.
So you got to be aware that that's happening, and make some changes to get yourself re-energized. And that's kind of what I did, right? Like I stopped breeding because of COVID, and I wasn't sure how I was going to get rid of the babies, and I just said, well, I'll just stop breeding for a while and see what happens.
And the funniest thing is during the first shot of it, everybody was buying everything. Everybody set up fish tanks during COVID because they couldn't do anything else.
Yeah. See, I wasn't thinking of it that way. It's like, well, how are people going to get fish if they can't go to the fish store and browse around and buy them? Right. So I kind of went through that phase a little while ago. I just, I stopped breeding, and then I lost interest, and I was just like feeding them and changing water, and that was all I was doing. I wasn't.
And then you talked to Jesse, and Jesse came down to your fish room and said, "What the hell are you doing, Steve?"
Exactly. So you need that little push once in a while, and that gets you back into the swing of things. And
well, I'm glad you got back into the swing of things.
I definitely would have, because I've had fish since I was 13 years old. So
yeah, the hobby would have missed you. That's for sure.
Just a question of what I was going to do. I've been breeding angels for so long. I love them to death. They're such a fantastic looking fish, but at the same time, you raise several thousand angelfish, and you think, well, what else is there to do? Like, let's find something else to do.
Yeah, I've been last couple of years. I've been kind of working on just to see how many different species of fish I can breed.
Yeah, so that's kind of what I've got going now, right? Like I just picked up these flagfish from Brittany this week, so I'm gonna see if I can get those to breed. because I've never had flagfish before.
Yeah, me either.
I got the plecos from you a while back, and they're starting to breed now. So it's the first time I've ever had breeding plecos. I got my little Endler experiments going on, and my big
And you're
challenge
gonna, yeah.
my big challenge with these guys.
So do you want to know what I'm gonna try with those guys, Steve? Just to try to buffer the pH and keep the pH down and everything. Is I have a marine land, like a penguin, big bio wheel on the back of that tank, as well as the sponge filters. And I was thinking of actually putting like peat moss in a cheesecloth.
Yep.
In the back of the filter.
I've done that in the past. It works great.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to do something like that because I'm having such a hard time without an act. So normally, like with my shrimp tanks, all my Caradina shrimp tanks, I keep an active substrate in the tank to help buffer my pH and get rid of all my GH in the water. So it's real easy that way, but I don't have that in that tank, and I don't want to put it in that tank. They scurry the bottom up way too much for that stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
It'd be everywhere. So yeah, that's what I was thinking of doing is like a peat moss soak in the back of the filter.
Yep.
And see if that does it, because it's so everything I've read is it's obviously they have to be mature, they have to be comfortable in the tank, and where they spawn in the wild has a TDS of 0.
Right.
0. Nothing.
Yeah, it's in a river.
The Amazon River. Like it's so hard to recreate that and keep everything alive and keep a cycle and everything else, right?
TDS of 0 is you're prone to pH crashes and stuff.
So we can't get that. So we got to get as close as we can to that. At least get soft ass water.
Right.
So my goal is to get that tank down to like 5.8 for a pH.
Yep.
And I think between 5.8 and a cold water change may just fire them up.
So these guys that I have here are about 6.5 to 7 inches, so they're pretty much adult size. So they don't have any growing left to do.
Does the male have spurs on his front dorsal fins?
He does. I wish they would stay. Like, he's in a perfect spot right now, but as soon as I get close to the tank, he moves.
Yeah, they are a bit of a.
But yeah, they definitely have.
Yeah, he's got some spurs.
He's got spurs, and you can see there's quite large whiskers there.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And then this.
It's beautiful, Steve.
That's the female there. She's got no spurs whatsoever.
Nope.
So, and she's a lot bluer than he is. I don't know why, but.
No, they're beautiful. You watching this, Jason? Fish Tropic? We got another one with some L128s now. What are you feeding them, Steve?
So far, they seem to be liking the kelp wafers the best so far. Like I threw zucchini in there, and I was actually surprised they hardly even touched it.
Mine eat zucchini. They do like a bit of meat in their diet too, though.
Yeah, I gave them some frozen bloodworms yesterday, and they chowed those down pretty quick.
Yeah, frozen bloodworms. It's just shrimp pellets. I give mine.
Yeah, I have some the North Fin veggie wafers or something like that.
Oh, mine don't like them.
And they like those, and they like the kelp wafers, but the beans they didn't mind the beans. I threw a bunch of beans in there the other day, and they ate those.
Yeah, they would eat those actually.
But for some reason they didn't like the zucchini, so maybe it was just they'd never seen it before, or I don't know. But it went all fuzzy. I had to pull it out.
Yeah. Just a piece of shrimp. Just put in a piece of raw shrimp. They'll eat it.
Yeah, definitely.
Jason
Yeah,
says hi to you, Steve, if you can't see that.
No, I can't see any of the comments or anything.
So Chewy says Maluka leaves would work great. They are a natural antiseptic to also prevent bacterial diseases.
What are they? Malak?
Maluka?
I've never heard of those ones, but I just have these tapa leaves in here.
Yeah. They work good. Takes a lot of them in a 70-gallon tank to do any big changes, though.
Yeah, this one's a 55, so it's not quite as bad, but it's definitely going to be a challenge. I've got this wave maker I threw in the bottom just to make a river type flow for them.
That's actually what I don't have going in the tank anymore, and I need to. I should. I actually just got. I just got a couple of wave makers with that 90-gallon saltwater tank I picked up.
Yeah.
So I might, and they're not as big. I found my wave maker was way too powerful that I had in there.
Yeah, I just I picked up a couple of these, just the small ones.
That looks very similar to what I just got. Yeah.
And
so I'll have to.
It's pushing the water pretty good. So
I got two of them. I could do a top and a bottom flow. We could get some weird currents going.
The problem is you don't know where they were caught, right? So you don't know if the water is flowing fast or slow.
They don't mind fast water.
I'm getting a kick out of these angels. They're trying to guard their eggs at the edge of the tank.
Yeah, from the power head.
No, they can see into the 75. And the angels are here hanging out. So they're trying to protect the eggs from the tank next to them.
Huh. Yeah, that's wild. How long? Well, you're not even gonna keep those eggs, you were saying. But how long does it take for angels from being laid to hatching?
So they hatch in about 2 days, and then they wiggle for another 3 or 4 days.
Okay.
And then they're swimming by the end of the week.
Oh wow. I think I'm gonna have to pull my Paracep nigrinus soon. I think they're ready. They're looking awfully dark in her mouth. So that'd be neat. That'll be a new species.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah, I haven't had the best of luck with them, to be honest. Just getting females. Same problem that you're having with I don't remember the name of the fish that you have there.
The nanolutes, yeah.
Yeah, the same problem. I was getting all males. And yeah, so finally I got some females.
That was unfortunate, actually. I was kind of sad that happened. They're such a nice looking fish. But
do you still have them, or did you move them along?
No, I actually found them a 90-gallon to move into, so I don't have them anymore.
I don't have any of your cribs anymore. Thank God.
I still have one.
Keep it. Nope.
It's one of the siblings to the batch that I gave you.
So siblings to the parents of the ones.
To the parents, yeah.
That I have, yeah.
And it was a straggler in this tank, and it's just been living in here ever since.
He's got to be pretty big now. Oh yeah, he is. He's big.
Yeah. So she's in there by herself, no mate. But
so Elaine from Gravenhurst has them now. You know who I'm talking about, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah. She's got them. She excuse me. She put that post up. Yeah, she put that post up. Anybody know anything about cribs? I got questions. So I PM'd her. I don't know much about cribs, but I was able to breed them, and I still have about 15 of them I want to get rid of, like, now.
Right.
So if you want one, you take them all.
Yeah.
And that's what I did.
Yeah, just make sure you don't miss any, because then you'll end up with more.
I didn't. I checked. Very, very good. Very, very good.
Yeah, once they start spawning, you can't stop them.
No, but on the bright side is that rack is pretty much ready for me to start transferring stuff. The only
Is it?
thing, yeah, yeah,
Okay.
I sold the
Cool.
I sold the Splendens, the Amica Splendens.
Oh, you did, eh? That's good.
I did, yep. A guy came from like Markham to buy them.
I wonder if it's the same guy that I sold mine to, because he came from quite a ways away.
But this is gonna clear that up real quick. Was he Asian?
Yeah.
Okay, might have been him because this guy was very Asian. Yeah.
Interesting.
Like I don't even know if he spoke English. We didn't talk really.
Yeah, same kind of situation. He's like handed you the cash and handed the fish, and that was, he just like nodded his head, and that was it. He was gone.
Yeah. Okay, it was probably the same guy then. Yeah, most definitely. But anyways, yeah, I got they're gone. The cribs are gone off that rack. The only thing I have to move, and I have a stand for the tank, is my Black King Kong Carabinian shrimp tank.
Oh yeah.
So I just have to move it off the rack, and then I have to take the 65-gallon tall off the bottom rack,
Right.
switch it out with the 55-gallon long, and put the 55-gallon long down there for the sump. So for everybody watching, I picked up a 90-gallon saltwater setup. Oh, I should say too. And I got a bunch of fish and coral and live rock and everything else with it. But what I also got was the sump that came with the 90-gallon. The sump was very undersized, but it has a great return pump, has a great protein skimmer, all that stuff. So I'm going to make a 55-gallon sump with the parts that I got and the drilled tanks that I'm getting from Steve for my saltwater setup. So I'm pretty much ready. Yeah, that looks good.
Yeah,
that looks really good.
I've only done this one so far, but I just haven't had time this week to get more done. But it looks pretty good.
Yeah, yeah. Maybe in the next 2 or 3 months, I'll have time to set it up.
I'm just gonna get I'm gonna get them all prepared, and then I'll seal them all at the same time.
Yeah, no, that rock's gonna look great. Hopefully, anyways. Hopefully, I can. Nicole and I were talking tonight, and by the way, like since I work so much, even when I'm not working like 100%, but Nicole helps me feed my fish. I don't work from home, but she's generally home, and she does a good job, at least feeding the clownfish. She loves the clownfish, so.
Right.
Yeah, but we talked tonight, and we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna put an order in. We're gonna buy some more rotifers. We're gonna buy like 6 bottles of RG Complete, and see if we can't have the same success with the clownfish we did with the first good batch.
Right.
Get that rack filled up.
Yeah,
I'd like to.
Hopefully, it's all that ammonia stuff that is in the.
Yeah, yeah, it's right here. But like this stuff is like magic in a bottle for rotifers and raising clownfish. I don't get paid by them, believe me. I just pay them a lot of money. But stuff works. I promote stuff that works, and I ran out, and I think that's what our big problem's been, is not having that stuff. That's one of the only common denominators that aren't there from when I had success to now not having success.
Right.
So.
Yeah, he said it's worth figuring out if that was the deal.
Yeah, so we'll find out. This order will be a lot cheaper than the last order, but still they nail you for shipping to get it here, and hopefully it doesn't screw up. That's the one thing. It screwed up last time, big time. It was way late, and had to reorder everything else. They're good for it. I didn't have to pay twice or anything, but I could have used everything the first time it was sent.
Right.
So hopefully, because it has to be like overnight shipping, 2 day shipping from California,
Right.
or the rotifers will die. The RG complete
Yeah.
will go bad.
That's the hard part, and especially now it's getting into the colder months, right? So now you got to worry about freezing.
Chewy says you have stunning marble angels.
Oh, thank you. You see this pearl scale here? This pearl scale. This pearl scale came from these parents.
And how old is that fish?
Is the only one. That one, probably 6 months.
Okay, so it's still growing. Still growing its fins out.
Still got a little bit to go. It's only about an inch now. It's a female, so it's a little smaller. But yeah, it's the only one that I've ever gotten out of all of the babies that I've raised out of these marble line that I have. It's the only one that's come out pearl scale and just a wild pattern. Like there's no marble in it at all.
So are you hoping she's gonna breed back to them? Is that why you have her in there, or you just kept her for shits and giggles?
I'm not even sure what's happening in this tank at the moment. I wanted to keep her just because I wanted to see if I could breed her back to something and see if I could get some pearl scales out of them. But these two in here, they've shown no indication of spawning with any of them, and I can't for the life of me tell if they're male or female because they've never shown any of their breeding tubes.
They're still picking their gender identity.
Yeah, it's and they're like this big one here is a year and a half old, and it has.
It's got a half black face.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's male or female.
Do any of your pairs raise their own young?
These two actually have in the past, but they are very sensitive to any kind of activity in the room. If I leave them alone, then they usually get free swimmers, no problem. But if I'm in here feeding or changing water or anything, then they panic and eat their eggs. Like they had a full slate of eggs just before the call, and I came in here and I was doing something in the tank next to them, and literally they went from a full spawn of eggs that were a day and a half old to nothing in about 30 seconds.
Jesus.
They just, I was watching them, I was like, what are they doing? Like all of a sudden they're just devouring the eggs. I'm like, what the heck?
You know what? That makes me think of another common denominator that's different from my first successful spawn of the clowns to now. And that is, I spawned the first ones in our closet, in our walk-in closet up in our bedroom.
Oh, right. That's right.
And
now you've moved them downstairs.
I've moved them downstairs. Temperature's the same, but maybe it's there's not a lot of activity down here, and I always keep it bagged up, but that is another difference.
Right.
I don't know if that one matters or not.
Is it maybe ambient light coming in from the top or the back? Because in the closet it would be completely dark, right?
Yeah, but I put a light on them. Like I do give them light. You're supposed to give them a little bit of light.
Yeah.
But maybe, yeah, I don't know. Maybe I looked after them better up there. Every time I was going in or out of the bedroom, I go in and feed them.
Right.
So I just thought of that. I was like, well, that's different, because you made me think of that when you said, if you go near them, they'll eat their babies.
Yeah. So, if I'm really careful, then they'll keep rearing the eggs until they're free swimming. But if I have to change water or something, yeah, forget it. They'll just devour them. I don't usually see it happen, but I did today. Usually I just come downstairs and they're gone.
Chewy says, same traits as all marbles. My silvers would raise their own fry up to dime size, no problem. Marbles, no way.
Well, I've definitely had my marbles, raising fry like up to like a quarter of an inch in the past, but for the most part, if I want to keep them, then I for sure take them out because they do tend to spook fairly easy. So
Yeah. So you're right back into the Angels. No Rams.
yeah, the
Your
Rams.
guppy
I don't know
breeder now.
the Rams. The Rams I just found way too finicky. Like you'd get a spawn of about 300 eggs, and you would just constantly watch them die until you end up with two or three left.
That sucks, eh? I've been
And
watching that with the baby clowns lately, and
yeah,
it drives me nuts. I hate it.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Started out with so many.
a lot of it had to do with just the fact that they need such small food at the beginning because they're so like they're half the size of an angel fry.
So that's when you were doing the vinegar eels and whatnot, right?
Yeah, so I once I got the vinegar eels and I got the microworms and I set up this breeding tank, the hatchery tank that I show everybody, which has like it's a larger volume. It's 20 gallons of water, right? And I would hatch the eggs out in a little dish floating in the 20 gallons, constantly cycling the water through.
Ah.
That's when I started to get a lot more survival rate, is once you get that small food and you get the cleaner water because of the water volume. That's when the survival rate went way up.
Hmm. Hmm.
But the microworms are smelly and a lot of work. So
Yeah.
I I got out of those because I didn't want to fumble around with microworms every week. And
Yeah, and if they stink, it's no good. Chewy's
well,
asking what kind of guppies you have. We already went through that, but I'm sure
yeah,
we could
sure.
recap pretty quick.
These are my experiment Endler Dumbo ear cross. So I'm currently on generation 2 here. You can see little babies swimming around. Some generation. No, they're all generation 2. But I've only got one male that turned out the way I want it to, which is this little guy here.
You'll have to keep him around. Your genetics will get a bit thin.
Yeah. So he's gonna stay in the tank with the female, with his older fish here, so that he'll breed back to the parents.
Okay.
I actually didn't show these ones. These are interesting. These
You
are
did a bit. No, you didn't. They're a different tail.
Yeah, these ones are also Endler females, but they all came out with this blue and black pattern, which was kind of weird. It's an Endler cross guppy that I started with.
Yeah.
So I've put them in with one of your black metallics.
Black metallics. And that one stayed quite black, eh? The tail on that one.
Yeah,
And the dorsal.
That's why I put this one in here with these guys, because I want to see what the black does with these bluish tails.
I don't think his dorsal fin is near as nice either.
No. So these guys,
No.
these ones just started popping some babies. So I think there's one baby in there, and I just left the tank bare like that because I don't really want the first couple of batches of babies.
Okay, why not?
Because they were already impregnated from. So I want to give them a couple of generations to settle in with this metallic guy.
How many generations do you think it takes if a female guppy was impregnated by like a mutt guppy?
It's interesting.
To get it
out. I've read some people saying 3 or 4 hatches, and I've heard others say once the female's impregnated, she's impregnated for life. So
Oh wow.
It's hard to know.
Yeah, I guess. That's why I was so careful with those ones right there that you're looking at.
Yeah. So that's the black metallics that I got from you.
Oh, that male, he's almost show worthy. Almost.
Yeah.
Almost. I think his fan's a little out. His fantail is not the proper width and length. But other than that, he's got a beautiful dorsal fin on him, and his babies may come out a whole lot nicer than him. Who knows?
Yeah. So we'll keep line breeding these for a while and see how they turn out.
Mhm. Yeah, I can't believe how much color is in him.
Yeah, his tail's got a lot of different shades of colors, and then I got
These are the ones I'm interested in looking at, and it's the females I'm impressed with. The tails on them.
The females I got from Big Al's, but they were imports from Singapore.
Wow. Yeah, they got nice big tails.
And I had them for probably 2 months, and I had 0 babies out of them until I threw in a couple of these black metallics. And now I have hundreds and hundreds.
Well, I guess we'll see what.
So this all came out last week when I switched tanks, because I had them in a 20 and I moved them to a 35 because they were just getting overrun. So I moved the adults in here, and 3 days later, all these popped out.
Jesus.
And so they have large batches, so they were in with all these ones. This was the first batch of babies I got from them, and they're just starting to color up, the males.
And how old do you figure they are?
Maybe 5 or 6 weeks.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say by 5 months you should have a damn good idea what you got.
Yeah. So another month or two, and they should be showing pretty good color.
Now, are you gonna start separating some females from there?
Not initially. I'm just gonna let them go and see what happens.
Okay.
And then I'll start picking out the ones that I want, like pattern wise.
Okay. Now, what are you looking for in the females? What? So most guppy breeders are trying to.
I don't really know yet.
Promote attributes.
Yeah, I don't really know yet. It's I don't know what to expect from the blue and the black cross.
Yeah.
So once I get a generation or two that are adults and showing their colors, then I can decide, kind of what attributes I'm looking for.
Jason's saying he likes to move the parents. That is, fry grow quicker that way.
Yeah, that's what I did. So all these fry came from those adults, and they were getting too many of them, so I moved them into this tank right next door, and then they popped all these babies. So now I'm thinking I'm gonna have to do it again, or at least move the babies somewhere else, because it's too many for a 20 gallon. It's getting to be almost too many for a 35.
Yeah, Jason's saying he's interested in some. You can find Steve on Facebook, Jason, if you want to hook up with him. He's just in Barrie. Steve Langley. Actually, yeah, his name's on the stream, so you can find him on Facebook. That's how if people wanted to find you to buy angels or guppies or anything off you, Steve? Facebook?
Yeah, sure. I've never actually shipped any fish anywhere, but.
Well, Jason just lives in the city. I think he's Scarborough.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. They're still looking after those eggs.
Yeah. These are new parents. They're only 8 months old. These were my blue and Coe cross. They all came out this way.
Huh. What happened to the ones that had like a ton of red on them?
These are the ones, believe it or not.
Oh, and it just kind of.
It just faded into nothing basically.
That was
But
like my
they do
baby
have
blue
these.
ancestress.
They do have these. They have a spotted attribute to them. Like you can see all the spots on their sides. That's not normal
Ah,
for any.
yes.
That's not a
No.
normal angel look with all the different spots.
Ah, okay.
They have those like little tiny black spots all over their sides.
Hmm.
And apparently you can get black spots or you can get red spots. They've actually done some line breeding to get the spots to turn out red.
It would have been nice if that red stayed.
Yeah, so I'm interested to see what's going to happen with these because they did come from a platinum blue and a koi, right? So they have the blue and the orange attributes, but this generation is not showing any of it. Like
No.
this one here has a little bit of marbling, but just barely.
So maybe their offspring will have a bit more red.
So I do have in this little 2-gallon tank here. This is second generation, so we'll see what happens with these little guys. But they're not showing any sign of color yet whatsoever because they're so tiny.
They're just showing big, big baby brine shrimp bellies.
Yep. Yeah, so they're only like a week old. So we'll see what coloration comes out of those ones, second generation.
Very cool. Very cool. Did you have any more topics you want to talk about? Because all my lights are shutting off down here soon. They just
Yeah,
started shutting off.
mine are gonna shut off in 9 minutes. So
9 minutes. Yeah, mine are actually some just shut off. But
yeah,
no.
that's actually one thing that I replaced all my manual light timers
Yeah.
with smart plugs.
Oh.
Man, that's fantastic. I can sit at my desk or wherever I want, and if I know somebody's coming over before the lights are on, I just grab my phone and turn them on.
Huh.
And if I forget to turn them off later, I can grab my phone and turn them off.
Huh.
And
How?
you can set up a schedule on them and everything, so you can have them coming on and off 3, 4, 5 times a day, whatever you want.
Yeah, that's crazy. Technology has now you control a whole fish room from your phone.
Yeah, and it's just one little plug.
So all your lights are connected to that one plug?
Yeah, the plug, it's got a power bar, so that's all my lights.
Okay. Yeah, mine are too spread out to do that. I'd have to have a couple of smart plugs.
Right. Well, I have 3. I got one here on this main rack, and then I got one on the furnace side, and then I got one upstairs for the salt water.
Okay. How's the garage coming along? Are you gonna do a fish room in your garage, or are you working on it?
I am. The garage at the moment, I've got the garage doors insulated, and I got the ceiling insulated.
Oh, beautiful.
And I had an electrical guy come out and put a panel in my garage for me, so that I can run, electrical plugs and stuff for the fish room. So that's all kind of prep work to get things rolling. I already have water outlet there. I need to get a water a drain kind of thing going.
Yeah, you wanted to put a wash tub out there?
Yeah, so I'm gonna put a sink in a little work area, and then I'm just gonna build a small room on the back side of the garage so that I can insulate it and kind of contain all that heat from the tanks and stuff for the winter.
Yeah.
So
What's your heating options? Like, what have you thought of for are you gonna heat the whole place or the tanks or?
Yeah, I'm leaning towards, because it's going to be a sealed room. Basically, I'm leaning towards heating the whole room rather than what I'm doing now with all these individual heaters.
So are you thinking like electric or putting a gas, like a
No,
gas
so
blower out there?
because it's in the garage, I'm going to have a problem with, cold in the winter, but also heat in the summer, right?
Yeah.
So I'm looking at probably a mini split for that room in the garage.
Okay. Yeah.
And then it's so that it has it's a heat pump, so it'll do air conditioning and heat.
Yeah, heat pumps work pretty well. If yep, that's probably your best bet, eh?
Yeah, and then just from the volume of water and dehumidifier, there's probably enough heat to keep it warm enough on top of the split system.
Hmm. I can't wait till you
So
get that set up.
that's kind of where I'm heading. At the moment, I'm waiting for lumber prices to drop because the cost of lumber has doubled in the last 6 months.
Like just 2x4s and whatnot.
Yeah, when I built this fish room, which was only 2 years ago, and even like this rack here that we're looking at, I did this last year. I only paid $3.70 for a 2x4, and right now they're $7.40.
Holy shit. I didn't
Yeah,
realize I
yeah,
don't I'm in the construction industry, but I never really buy my own material. So
yeah,
I yeah, I'd imagine how much plywood and everything else has gone up then if
yeah. So
just 2x4s.
that's kind of, and winter's approaching, so I'm not gonna get it done before winter. So at this point, I'm just doing prep work,
Yeah.
get the electrical, kind of plan out what I'm wanting to do with the room, and figuring out what I'm going to do for heating and cooling and electrical and water. Like I have a faucet out there, but I don't have a drain. So
Mm. Yeah, that could be challenging. Trying to think how you'd want to
so
drain that.
what I've come up with so far is just a large tote on the floor with a pump that will, like a bilge pump, that pumps water out of the wall, basically.
Okay.
Because we have a drain ditch between the houses, so
Yep.
I'm fine with just pumping the water out there.
Yeah, I guess if it's mostly just aquarium water, like there's not going to be any
Yeah,
uh
well, that's what happens currently anyway, because all my fish water waste goes down my
goes into
sump,
your sump.
and
Yeah.
then that goes right out to the same spot that I'd be dumping from the garage. So it's no different than what I'm doing now.
Yeah, if you could hook into the sump line, that'd work good, eh?
Uh,
Or is that probably the other side of the house?
well, so the sump is here, and then there's a wall there, and then there's a bedroom, and then there's a closet, and then there's the garage wall. So it's a little far away. So I'm just gonna drill a hole through the side of the garage and run a PVC pipe out.
Hmm. Hello, Christopher. Welcome. We're yeah, we've talked about all kinds of stuff here. We're probably going to wrap it up soon. We're coming up to 2 hours. But if you have a question or a topic you'd like to speak about, by all means, throw it up there, and
Yeah, absolutely.
we'll do our best.
I am gonna
Yeah,
plug.
Jason, your best place to buy new LED lights is Amazon. That's where you got yours, eh, Steve? And they're the
Yeah, yeah.
single strip lights.
All of my you'll see all of the lighting in my fish room is this is just PVC gutter, like rain gutter, and I've attached inside. We go from this angle here. Kind of hard. There we go.
Yeah, that's good view.
I get these on Amazon for $10 a piece. They're 4 feet long. I put two of them over a 4 foot section. This is actually 5 foot sections, two 30-gallon tanks, and seems to be growing plants quite well.
Yeah, everything's pretty lit up. I just
So
used
that,
the shop lights, the
so it
Costco
was
LED shop lights.
so it was $8 for the PVC gutter, and it was $20 for the 2 lights. So it cost me $30 to light my 2 30-gallon tanks.
Cheap.
And then on the 75, I did two of them. So there you go. There's the lights going. One moment, I will turn them right back on. Check this out.
Well, here you go, Jason. He's gonna show you how to do the smart plug.
Straight from the phone. Oh, this one is saying it's offline at the moment. Gotta wait for it.
Yeah, it's pretty dark.
There you go.
Oh,
So yeah, on the 75, I put 2 strips. So there's four lights on there plus the 2 strips of gutter.
So that plant's getting a lot of juice.
Yeah, they're 20. The nice thing is, like, they're only 20 watts a piece, right?
Yeah.
So
did you ever amp up your marine light?
I have one of those black boxes.
Black boxes.
Yeah, it's a black box light you get from Amazon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And it's got the white and the blue in it?
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm pretty happy with the output. I mean, the plants are doing fantastic. The lotus is flowering. You know, they're pretty stable. I don't really have a ton of algae growth. I mean, some tanks I do. This one was a little bit overlit. So I've turned off one of the strips just to give it a break and see if some of the algae will die off. But even that one is not horrible. But it was mostly because I had the 2 convicts plus all their babies in there, so it was feeding it really heavy.
Okay. So Christopher has a question, and it's about Camelonus worms, and
nasty one.
Yeah.
I've never personally had it in my tanks.
I have. And he says, I noticed the directions for treatment have drastically changed over the past 6 months. YouTubers have deleted videos on the subject. Have you noticed that?
Really?
I haven't noticed that. So all my direction for treatment that I've used for these pesky little bastards is straight from a fish veterinarian. My friend Paul Menestas, he's a fish vet in Barrie, and he gave me the treatment plan and the medications for taking care of them. And the treatment, I don't believe his treatment plan has changed. It is just the same. Heavy water changes, bare bottom tank. You treat with the recommended dosage of levamisole. I do have a couple videos out of it. I didn't delete my videos on it. And it's a treatment every 2 weeks for 3 treatments, 6 weeks total, with a huge vacuum after each treatment. And it's a very hard treatment. It's very hard to keep your cycle going in your tank because the treatment does mess with your cycle. So
Right.
a lot of water changes are necessary to keep the ammonia down. And
so what is the medication, Jesse?
It's levamisole.
Levamisole. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tough stuff.
Yeah. So it's not a kill dose. So levamisole, I guess you could call it kill, but what it does is actually it paralyzes the parasites. And then sometimes it just paralyzes them enough that they just never move again. That's the idea of it. The dose of levamisole, it paralyzes them, and you give them enough of a dose that it paralyzes them enough that they just don't ever unparalyze. And you suck them up and with your water changes.
Right.
It's not an overdose. If I guess you could call it an overdose as long as it doesn't kill your fish. Give me 1 second. I will go and get my prescription bottle of levamisole, and I'll tell you exactly what the dosage.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever had that problem in my fish room. I've had other parasites which I've used levamisole on as well, but not camellinus worms anyway.
All right. So mine right here, where can we see it? Is pure levamisole. It's absolutely pure. There's nothing else in it. I got the good shit. And the mixture for it is 38 milligrams per gallon. Once every 2 weeks for 3 doses. Wear gloves when handling. That's my exact dosage recommended by my vet. So I don't know, lots of YouTube videos and whatnot out there. Quite frankly, it worked for me. I did lose some fish. They all didn't make it, but the majority of them made it. And it did actually save me a lot of money, because if this nonsense went through my whole fish room, I would have lost a lot. I would have lost everything. So my information and advice did not come from YouTube. Mine came actually from a veterinarian. 9 milligrams per gallon. No. If you want to get rid of these worms, it's 38 milligrams per gallon. So, and I think this is where, again, some shit advice comes in from people who they go and they do it. They do their video. They may have some success with it. But yes, I'd rather get my dosages from someone who's trained to give me the proper dosage. It really wasn't that expensive to have a vet come to my house. I don't know what he charges now. I was one of his first customers, but I think all in total it was under $300 for the medication and everything, and I saved thousands of dollars worth of fish. So yeah, I do have a. Sorry, go ahead, Steve.
I had a similar thing. I called Paul about 2 years ago. I had an internal parasite thing going on with one of my tanks, and it was the same kind of price range. But to me, that kind of cost, like you're going to spend half of that anyway just buying medications from a pet store, and they're always lower dose with fillers and all kinds of crap that you don't really want, and half the time it doesn't work and your fish die anyway. So to me, it's worth the cost to get a vet involved, get the pure medications, and at least with Paul, once that initial visit is there, then it's just the cost of the medication for the year.
Yeah, right? Once he's established a relationship with you and he sees that you're a fish keeper that's doing good practices, right. He's good with. I could call him up now and probably get levamisole from him, because he knows my fish room and knows what I'm using it for.
Yeah, and at that point, you're getting the medications from a veterinarian, so you know that they're going to be the pure medications. They're not going to be full of fillers and at the wrong dose.
Yeah, and I think that's a pretty important point of it. Yes, you can get medications. You can try and get them over the border. You can still get them from the States fairly easily, I think. But I guess depending on what you're getting in, whether it's pure levamisole or if it's got filler in it, whatever, to getting the right dosage is the important part of it, and having a dosage plan, having your every 2 weeks plan. Yep. And the reason it's every 2 weeks, for a cycle of 6 weeks, three doses, is to make sure you get all the eggs and larvae Make sure you get all that, because if you don't get all that and you just kill the adults, then it's just gonna start all over again for you.
Yeah, that's true.
And heavy vacuuming, heavy vacuuming on the bottom of the tank, just to make sure if there is any eggs in the bottom of the tank or anything, you're getting them out, as many of them as you can.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, if you're in the States, Chris, yeah, just get a proper dosage for the medication that you have. I say that because not all levamisole is 100%, but if people are telling you to use, like you said up here, 1 gram per 20, no, you're not doing anything. You're just wasting your time, I would say. So that would be my advice on that, anyways.
So yeah, you just look at this, right? This is pretty popular brand that used to be on all the shelves, Metroplex, Seachem.
Yeah.
But nice quality brand, right? But you turn it around and you look at it, it's only 70% metronidazole.
What's
Right?
the other 30 there?
Inactive ingredients. So you have no idea what you have no idea what that other 30% is.
Huh.
And the dosage that they give you on the bottle here is half of what the veterinarian recommended at 100%.
At 100%, so it's half
Right.
plus a third.
Right. So it's a nice quality brand, but at the same time, they're giving you medications at a fraction of the dose that it should have been.
So I bought fembenzimol
Yep.
before levamisole, and I bought it off Amazon. I got it, and same thing. It was like so little of actual medication, so much of filler, and it didn't work for me.
Yeah, exactly. Which I bought this originally when they were still selling medications in Canada, and just before my fish were sick, and this was the first thing that I tried,
Mm-hmm.
and didn't really have any effect. And that's when I called Paul and said, hey, I've got this tank that's got some sick fish in it, and at that point in time, they were my black rams and a bunch of black angels that I was kind of putting aside to continue breeding. So I didn't really want to lose them, right? And so let's invest the money and call Paul, and he came out and he gave me the exact same medication, metronidazole, but at 100% and twice the dosage,
and proper dosing.
And all of a sudden the fish started turning around, and we're okay after that.
So do you think
I lost 2 or 3, but I didn't lose the whole tank.
Do you think these companies put on lower dosages just so they don't get accused of killing fish if the dosage was too high?
Breaking up.
Oh, did we just lose Steve? Oh, you're back. Are you back,
Sorry,
Steve?
You're breaking up there. Yeah, I think so.
Okay. I was saying, do you think these companies are selling products and showing a low dose just so they don't get accused of killing people's fish with their medication?
It could be, and it could be, partly. There are certain fish in the hobby that are more sensitive to medications, and if you give them a strong dose, it will kill them. Right?
But if you don't give enough of a dose, it ain't going to do anything.
Yeah, exactly. So it's kind of a hard thing to balance. But the one thing that annoys me is why you put all these fillers in it. Like, if you're gonna sell a medication, sell the medication. Don't fill it with half of the medication, and the rest is just useless.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Christopher was asking, how well do vets know fish up there? So we're in Ontario, Canada, and most vets don't know fish at all. But
Yeah,
there's been
we got lucky.
Yeah, we got extremely lucky that I actually became really good friends with the only guy around that's a fish vet near us, and he's about 20 minutes away from me, right in the same city as Steve. Um, but we're different here. We Dave. I don't agree with everything the veterinary college does. So what they've done in Canada is our medications we have to go to get them legally in Canada. We have to go through a fish vet and get a prescription for antibiotics, parasite control, any medications for fish. And I think it's just killed a lot of fish is what it's done because most people either can't find a vet that will deal with them or they don't want to pay the money for it, which I don't blame them if they just got a few fish.
Yeah, I think there's a bit of a balance that they have to come up with there because you're right. Most people are not going to spend $200 to save a $2 fish.
Right.
But for people like us that are breeding fish and things with large fish rooms, yeah, we want to protect our investments, so the $200 is worth it.
Yeah. Not only that, getting okay. So basically, and I'm not trying to toot my horn here or anything, but if I have to ask a question about dosing and whatnot, I generally want it to come from someone who knows what the hell they're talking about. Because if I have to ask at this point in my fish hobby, I've done this a long time. If I don't have the answer, I need it to be a solid answer from someone who's done their solid research. Hearsay is not going to work. I'm not gonna roll with hearsay confidently.
Right. And I think part of the problem is the veterinarians were not prepared, right? Like Canada just basically said, you're not allowed to sell medications anymore over the counter. But they didn't give enough time to the vets to prepare, right? Like so, and that's why we don't have the coverage.
Yeah, or qualified vets for it.
Right. So it's they're kind of behind the eight ball trying to catch up.
Now, Chewy said here that Vancouver has quite a few, but that I'd imagine Vancouver has it just because of all the aquaculture they have there.
Yeah.
Because I think that is the biggest draw to become a fish vet would be for aquaculture for the most part, I would think.
Right. I was trying to get a close up of him because he came out, but he swam back over.
Yeah, you're gonna be happy with them, Steve. You're gonna be happy. I hope you paid a lot of money for them too, because they look pretty nice.
I won't comment on that part.
I know I paid a lot of money for mine.
Actually, it was a pretty good deal because I got 3 of those plus a stand for a 55 and an albino longfin, all for the one price. So it was pretty good.
Yeah, that's good. You don't have to tell everybody how you stole those fish.
Yeah.
Sounds like it's one of those deals.
Come on. You got to get a close up of this guy. He keeps sneaking away. Every time I leave the front of the tank, he comes out. Bugger.
Oh, we can see him. Yeah, he's big. He's a lot bigger than mine. Quite a bit bigger than mine. Well, buddy, do you think we should wrap it up?
Yeah, sure. I have to reset my brine shrimp and
I gotta go to bed.
Yeah.
I got up at like 5 this morning. So thanks for coming on. It's awesome.
Yeah, no worries.
I haven't got to do a live stream in a long time. So that was awesome.
I don't mind doing this.
It was kind of a spur of the moment thing tonight, but I think it went well. We did lots of talking, just like the topic said.
I've had my phone plugged in the whole time, so I just keep walking around with this extension cord.
Christopher says, I've watched you guys a lot before, and I'm super surprised that there aren't more people in here. Appreciate you guys, and thanks for your help in stealing cool fish.
Yeah.
But that's all I do this for, is just share ideas, and it's fun to share ideas and talk to like-minded people. It's I go to try and talk to a normal person about fish, and they look at me pretty weird, like I'm weird.
Yeah.
So us weirdos got to stick together.
Absolutely.
But thanks for coming out, buddy.
All right.
And yeah, we'll talk about those tanks and stuff later, private, offline.
Yeah.
And you have a good night. Your fish room looks great, Steve. You've done. I could tell you've been doing a ton of maintenance on everything.
Yeah.
Everything looks good. Good to see.
Yeah. It could be better, but things
could be worse too.
Yeah, things happen. So the fish are
okay,
happy.
buddy.
The fish are breeding. I'm happy.
What more can you ask for?
Yep.
Okay. Thanks everybody for watching. Appreciate you guys for watching. Even if you just popped in for a few minutes or you stayed for the whole thing, I do appreciate it. And if you're here and you haven't hit the like button or subscribed and you like our stuff, please do so. We're almost at 1,000. So that's been kind of my number to get to for a little while here. So thank you to everybody for that.
All right.
All right. Take care, everyone. Bye for now.
Bye-bye.